Yeah, y'all know who this is. I am James Wade, and I'm in the field with Code 7. You heard? To start off, number one has got to be Bone Thugs and Harmony. Influenced just my love for music, and a lot of my style. You kind of see elements of Bone in there. So that's first off. Common is in there. Common is one of my favorite artists growing up. That conscious music, my music kind of sides on that end. So Common is fire. I gotta give Chance the Rapper love. Gotta give Chance the Rapper love. Like Chance is fire. Love how he kind of changed the game and what he's done. So again, just kind of that ordinary human being rap. I like that. I like that you ain't got to just be in a certain type of box. You could just be who you are and share your experience. And then I gotta go Kid Cudi. People don't understand unless you man, Kid Cudi is God in Ohio. Like he is a god in the Midwest. He's one of the best songwriters of our generation. So I got to show him love. Um, Man, it's because I'm about to leave people out. I gotta go Ye. I gotta go Kanye, man. Like, when it comes to arrangement, he's who I take my style after. Like when it comes to arrangements and making the beat do this and instrumentation and just somebody coming in saying two or three words and that making the song. Like I pay attention to that attention to detail. So I'd have to throw him in there. So I think that's five. That's five, right? Yeah. So mine is crazy. It used to be busy. Busy growing up was mine, but crazy is just like Thug Mentality is one of my favorite projects of all the Bone together. I think he did extremely well on that, and he's just always been the most consistent when it comes to musical output and quality of music. I think Busy is maybe slightly more dynamic, but like he's too erratic. Like his low end songs are super trash, and then and so respect to my idols, but yeah, he's got a higher ceiling. Crazy this. The rapid fire with the melodic, with nobody. I mean, and then what made their special is they was doing each other like Busy does layers and then Crazy does the background for Busy's layers. So like that contrast in that voice, the way that would flow, man, wasn't nobody doing it like Bo. Okay, no, okay, nobody fuck with Bo. First of all, they're rated too low as the one of the greatest groups of all time. They should be top three. I don't. I would argue that to death. Like they're my number one, but they should be top three for anybody in hip hop culture. I'd have to say they would have to be like I guess Run DMC, Wu Tang, and then them. And then you can mess with kind of Public Enemy about it. But like as far as influence, nobody, especially with the melodic flow, because again the way they did it, it wasn't cheesy. They wasn't doing love songs either. A lot of dudes kind of do the melodic to do like the female songs or like the catchy. They wasn't doing it for none of that. It was a feel. And that's what like everything they did was just authentic to like let's try different things. Let's think outside the box. Let's do these different harmonies and melodies and just try something different to expand the envelope. Let's show where our influences come from. Let's show them we got a little bit of church in us. Let's show them, bro. They were brilliant at that. Like nobody's touching that. And so everybody else that's done that since, again, I think they've leaned more on the melodic end just for the sake of making catchy music or trying to make something that appeals to like females. And Bone wasn't doing that. Honestly, bro, it's just like I'm always just a reflection of the things that inspire me. So like people can tell that I listen to spoken word because you can feel that in my music. Like people could tell I listen to R&B and gospel because you can hear it in my music. Like battle rap, bro, I've been watching battle rap since '07, '06, '07. I watch at least 50 battles a year. Like that, and I'm undershooting that. Like I'm talking about, it ain't even got to be the big URL, the King of the Dot battles. It could be Don't Flop. It could be into these little leagues, and they got two cats, and I want to see the style change. So I'm a fan of battle rap, and so naturally, again, what I'm inspired by, you're gonna hear that come in my music. So like for me, it was like I like the way people deliver in this space, and I want to bring that to my music. And so I wanted to kind of, all right, we'll do the spoken word with the battle rap, and then we'll mix it with a whole bunch of different genres, and like it'll be its own thing. And so it just kind of came to me as an idea, just because, like I say, when I hear something, I'm like, that's fire. Like as an artist, when you hear something that inspires you, and you be like, I got to pick my pen up. I can't, man. Why wasn't I the one who came up with that bar? I can't believe he came up with that scheme. Damn, I got to come up with something like that. Like just that natural inkling to pick my pen up when I would watch a battle and stuff like that just carried on into the music I made. Man, I think it's imperative. I think that's why I've been able to sustain as long as I have, because I've always moved with conviction about giving people quality and giving people something that will grow and that will stay with them. Like there's a lot of times where I'll post like verses and stuff like that that I did 15 years ago. People don't know it was 15 years ago, but it was because even then the intention to be creative and to not just be stuck in that moment, whatever was trendy back then. It was about, no, let me give you something quality. Let me give you something dope that I put my heart into, that I really sat down and was intentional. Like, oh man, they might not catch this, but they might catch this down the road. Leaving people little Easter eggs and stuff like that. Like that's always been a big thing for me. So I remember coming up, I was around and I was touring during the Soldier Boy era, and everybody was like, you should make songs like Soldier Boy. And I was like, but I'm not going to do that because you already have that. Like, there's already a lane for that. Like, I know that what I make and what I give, nobody else can give you but me. So it's like I gotta stay as creative as possible, and I gotta always try to push that envelope, because you'll know that it comes from me, and you'll never be like, oh, he took that from so and so, or oh, he sounds like so and so. You'll never be able to say that about me. So yeah, it's the most important thing to me. I'd actually say Tech Nine. So yeah, so when I first started, again, like all the advisors I had was like, I made pop rap. I made pop rap. I could make college rap. Like I was making catchy stuff. I did one year I did Ohio State football's theme song for them coming out. Like I got paid for that. Like I did things where it was like I'm trying to reach mass, but when all the people would review my albums and stuff like that, they'd be like, it's so fire because he treads the line between mainstream appeal and a niche sound. And so when I heard that as an actual review of my music, I was like, oh, I want to lean into that. Like I didn't know I could do that, but now that I know I can do that, let me lean more into that. And honestly, I didn't like my first ever project I released because it got a lot of like, it did really well. I had viral songs, but I got tired of them songs. And then the songs started to be bigger than me. And so people were calling me the names of the songs and stuff like that. Like I got a song called Weatherman. They were like, Weatherman. Like I was like, oh, I got to stop that immediately. Right. So I had already experienced being able to get opportunities and stuff based on like viral songs before viral was even a thing, right? It got me into a lot of situations where like I would be in clubs and I'd sit down with promoters and they'd be like, yeah, he brings in the right type of crowd. And I'd be like, what is like this coded language shit? And I was like, I don't like this energy. And then I remember even performing, I remember I performed in Miami of Ohio, and I walked into a party after the show. We did a little meet and greet, and then we went on campus and we kicking it, and they're playing my music at a party. And I start walking in the party and they all stop like, and they looking at me like, what you doing in here? And I'm like, I'm making a type of music where people listen to my music in places where they wouldn't accept me. We got to flip the game. This ain't what I want. And so then I started to lean more into like, what do I want to create and leave behind? Like the success and the cloud, all this shit is cool, but this, I don't like the way this is. Like, I don't want this to be how I continue to move forward. So I leaned in the opposite direction and I went straight conscious political. And I watched how people responded to that, like the more catchy blogs, and they're like, oh, but the people like the real hip hop blogs was like, I like what you're doing. And the type of people who I wanted to gravitate to that did. So I say all that to say, like, when I started doing the right thing, I found synergy. Like people started to find that. And so the people that listen to my music now, they get it. Like they get it. And so I heard this real dope quote from this cartoon. I can't remember what the cartoon was, but he said, "Your boos mean nothing to me because I see what you cheer for." And I was like, exact, and it hit me, and I was like, "There's gonna be certain people who I know will never like my music. They're not supposed to. It's not for them." Right. This is if you want to elevate. This is if you want to be in a certain space. This is if you resonate with something authentic. And my music will catch people that way. So that's what made me lean. Like this stuff took me overseas, bro. And like I've had a couple of different experiences where I went, okay, I'm being guided correctly. Right. So one of them was I was sitting down talking to somebody, and throughout the conversation, I realized that I was the first American black musician they had ever spoken to. And I thought the weight of that. So you listen to me, and when you listen to me, I represent an entire culture to you. The responsibility I have to represent the right way. Like I can be me and authentic, but I still got to make sure that when you hear me and you see me, I'm an example of a stellar black man, of a man of high character and integrity, and he moved a certain way, and you be like, I need to meet more kings like him. If this how y'all move like him, where y'all at? And I feel the responsibility of bringing that. And so there's been so many instances where again I would people would try to pull me in a different direction, and it would always be based on popularity or what they could offer me as far as money and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, bro, I'm brilliant, I'm smart as hell, like I got degrees. Because I didn't really start my career until after I graduated college. Like I was still doing shows and going on tour and stuff, but I locked in once I graduated because I was like, I'm gonna get one degree first, and then I'll get out here and start doing it. But okay, I got that. I'm gonna always be able to make money. I've always been popular. I was popular without music. Like I never had to be. I was football star, most popular in school, prom king, homecoming king. Like that was my move. So for me, it was like I do this music thing because it's literally like my way of inviting people onto this personal journey in my life and how I understand being a leader of life and how I need to guide you to a space while also being like making sure you understand what the hell's going on. So that's always been important to me, and like I try to make sure those type of themes come off in all of my projects where it's like you could tell I'm rapping for us back then, like what we done been through. Or again, being in the South, it wasn't too long ago where I done been in situations where that racial, that energy came up where it's like, nigga, you ain't free, and I'm like, damned if you think that, you know what I mean? So that people still go through that where I come from. People still are in those instances fighting for theirs where I come from. So it's like I would be foolish to take this opportunity and this platform and use it for any other reason. Hell yeah! Then what are we doing? Like what are we doing this for? Like again, I believe you got to have the party culture, and I believe you got to have the fun music, and you got to have the stuff that you can just turn up to. I agree with that, but we lost balance a long time ago. And again, now everybody is about being popular versus what talent and quality is and what value is. And again, all of this is programming. So whatever you incentivize, people are going to rush to. So we stop incentivizing putting messaging in the song. We stop incentivizing having substance in your music. And so people strayed away from that. I genuinely believe because of the Kendrick and Drake battle, because it's no different than anything else. Like I've been a sports head my whole life too. Everything is a copy. You always copy the winner because everybody sees somebody win and they go, okay, that's what it takes to win. So you just saw two people go up, and one did the whole I'm popular, these are my bars, I'm popular. And this one goes, let me give you a feel, let me give you substance. And the substance won. So there's now going to be a new generation of kids that are going to come up that came up during that battle, and they're going to know, hey, I need to be on the side of substance. And so that's why you see the shift, because now people, for 5 years ago, people was clowning people for putting messages in songs. I would see blogs and stuff like that, and I love all the media scenes and stuff like that, and I like the little banter back and forth because I always respond. But there would be people just on talking about, yeah, I don't want to hear messaging in songs. I'm like, you say that with a lot of bass in your voice, like that's a good thing. Like, bro, that don't sound as great as you think it do. Like everything everything is intentional. So if you listen to something, that gets put into your spirit, that gets put into your soul. What are you feeding your soul? Ab, I'm abstinent. It doesn't just come from abstaining from consuming like romantic and sexual desires. It also comes from what I actually let my ear listen to, what I allow my eyes to see. I don't watch the news. I don't watch TV. I don't do manufactured outrage stuff that they put out there to make me feel a certain way and get me to do certain things. I'm not going to be programmed in that way. So I always make sure that the way I can deliver a message is like it's coming from a clean place because of what I consume. You understand it has substance and value. So you got a human being who is consuming substance and value every single day, and then he putting it on paper and giving it to you. The importance of that, man, like it's so understated, and we've gotten so far away from that. The new generation will, because they see all these dudes with the and they doing all that shit fades. That's why when you go to any clubs and they playing the retro tracks, they playing stuff from our generation. They're not playing stuff from their generation because that stuff didn't sustain. It came and went, right? And so what we artists are at the forefront. My brother taught me this a long time ago, and I thought this was the most important thing I ever heard. He was like, bro, you don't go to them, they come to you. You the one with this heightened vision. They don't know the vision. You bring them to the vision. You don't go to them and be like, hey, what do you want to listen to? What do you want to hear from me? No, 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 no. I got something you ain't never heard before. Come follow me on this journey. Come follow me. Watch it be fruitful. Yeah, bro, I listen to everything, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. My playlist got alternative. My playlist got a lot more R&B than anything, R&B soul. It's got more of that than anything. Then of course I got my gospel. And then I listen to all forms of hip hop. Like I listen to everybody. I listen to the cloud rap. I listen to the turn up shit. I listen to whatever's new. Like I listen to everybody when y'all post somebody about something, I'm watching them. Somebody drop an album, I'm listening to it. I invest in time to listen and hear everything, and that's how for me it's like one, I know what everybody's doing and what's out there, so I know where I can. Okay, nobody's touched on this, nobody went this angle yet, so I got that lane. I'll do that. It makes me aware, and then the other part is just appreciating like how everybody is bending the genre in their own image, right? I love that. So I listen to everything, and you could tell in my music I listen to alternative. You could tell in my music I listen to gospel and all these other things. So I don't sound. I think I tell artists all the time, you gotta listen more to hip hop. You got to, because if you listen to, it's gonna sound like that. Your record's gonna sound like that. Your influences are gonna be limited. I put bars and stuff in there from a Google Doll song or Foo Fighters or something like that. Like I'll put a bar in there about them. Like nobody, but people who listen to alternative be like, I caught that, and I'm like, yeah, and they appreciate it because they're like, man, you well rounded, you know everything. I'm like, yeah, I throw something in there for everybody. So those type of things allow you to set yourself apart, and it also allows you to be more cultured, and you get to see the world in such a more fruitful way when you experience multiple realities. Yeah, so I got this album coming, Let There Be Light. We're gonna be dropping that. I'm gonna say it's gonna be mid-August. Mid-August, we dropping that. I'm finishing it up now. I might move it up if I can get everything rolled out the way I want to, but I like to take my time, so look for that in August. I got a bunch of shows coming up too. Again, the whole rollout is coming. I got a bunch of videos coming. I got freestyles I ain't released. It's gonna be a lot of rollout from me because I wrote this project kind of in a space of y'all gonna stop playing with me. That boy nice. The verses are nice. The catalog is nice. The videos are nice. The features are nice. The interviews are nice. He nice in everything. You can't say he not. And there ain't nobody you can put me on the record on where you wouldn't be like, oh, that's James. There ain't nobody you can say I can't rap with. There's nobody who you can't go catalog for catalog with. So I'm just here to remind y'all of greatness. So we're going to get this Let There Be Light. We're going to get that going off real quick. And then next year, I'm going to drop 2 for you. I'm going to give you 2 of them things. So we got this Love and Light series, and I'm really invested in that. So, again, we got a whole rollout, shows, multiple forms of content. You're gonna get a lot of interviews. You're gonna see me on a lot of podcasts. You're gonna see me performing a bunch on screen, live. So get ready for this light era. This is where we at. Okay, okay. This is my shit. This is my shit. All right. Oh man, this is so good. So my first one, of course, I gotta go back to East 99 Eternal. Is what, bro, like from everything from the cover to taking it off to having to read the words backwards to the dark feel on every single track to taking you exactly. Yes, that's what, bro. Like that, nobody did it better, bro. I'm telling, yeah, yeah. And then it's the in a little corner. Don't give props to the devil. Come on, man. Like, just incredible concept. That's a great one. Um, I actually believe I remember this happening when I was younger, and I thought it was super dope the way it was the way it was put together. It was Jay Z's Black Album. My final album tracks. Everybody gets their own individual tracks. I'm taking you from curtain open to curtain close. I thought if somebody was going to retire, that's the way you go out. Like I thought that was such a fire concept and such a fire way to do an album. And then I actually got to go my Dark Twisted Fantasy, because that man, bro, they, there's so many Kanye albums I could point out as far as concepts. And then I want to give I want to give what is it? Honorable mention to, I love because Outkast is also one of my favorite groups of all time. But I'm gonna go with the double album. I'm gonna go to take a situation where the group is, man, the group is in influx. They not really on that creating together tip. One of them, hey, this is my personality. My whole album displays that. Your whole album displays your personality and only that. And it's such a contrast. And you put them together, it's a diamond album. Like incredible. Only greats can do that. Only greats. Hey, y'all already know who this is. I am James Wade. I am James Wade on all streaming platforms. First off, so go ahead and check me out. Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. And then of course, IG, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you want to find me on social media. It's again, I am James Wade. IAMJAMESWADE. I am James Wade, and y'all know it's the lights. Code 7, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is.